guys. My name is Chelsea. I am the Students Director at South Harbor, a part of Harbor Churches. And today I'm coming to you with part 2 of our series talking about vibes and emotions. Now, if you were with us for our last portion, Daniel talked to us a little bit about our emotions, that we have a lot of them and that they're complex. And sometimes they're always good, but sometimes they're really big. So big that they take control and we wind up just along for the ride, and then we're left to pick up the pieces. So we talked about all of our emotions last time. This time, I'd like to talk to you about one emotion in particular, and that one is anger. So when you hear the word anger, what do you think of? I personally think of one of my favorite movies, the movie Inside Out. And while I have a huge soft spot for joy, my favorite character is anger. If you haven't seen the movie, it's about basically emotions kind of helping run the life of this girl named Riley. You should definitely pause whatever we're doing. Well, actually, if you're at youth group, don't pause it. But later, you should go and watch the movie. It's really great. Anyway, back to what we were talking about before. It's such a good movie, but while Joy is an awesome character, I really love Anger, partially because when Anger gets really mad, like really, really mad, his hair sets on fire. It's fantastic. So when you thought of Anger again, what did you think of? Was there a person you thought of? Maybe it was an event or an experience. Maybe you thought about a sibling stealing your favorite sweatshirt and giving it back to you covered in ketchup. Makes you a little angry, right? Or maybe you thought about someone in your class who you keep seeing cheat each and every day and they keep getting away with it. And every time you watch them turn their paper in, your blood feels like it's starting to boil. Or maybe you get angry that even though you try really, really hard to be nice or to be kind, you just keep getting yelled at or people keep being mean to you. I don't think we like to think of ourselves as having an anger problem, but sometimes there's not much of a gap between being frustrated and then angry and then rage that feels like there's steam coming out and your hair is on fire. You see, our emotions hang out inside of us, kind of like in the movie. It's their home turf, and anger hangs out there too. But anger takes a lot of different forms in different people. See, sometimes it looks like losing your temper, like we've been talking about. Maybe it's yelling or slamming doors. I personally was a professional door slammer as a middle schooler, and boy, did I get in trouble when I did. But maybe for you or for someone you know, it actually looks more like the silent treatment. When someone is so mad that they don't even have words coming out. I don't know about you, but it somehow makes it worse on so many levels. You see, whatever type of anger you experience, what anger is trying to do is it's trying to help us stay in control of the situation. Even if while it's happening, it feels like everything is out of control. Whether it's withholding your words or lashing out, we still get to stay in control. What makes this complicated is that not all anger is bad. Some of it is actually really good. There's the anger that we feel when something in the world is wrong. When someone is being bullied, when we see racism happening, when we see people being treated unfairly, when that happens, and it's all good to get angry. See, anger can be a really helpful tool or a really destructive tool. So what are we supposed to do with it? So there is an awesome book in the Bible called James. It was actually written by Jesus's brother, James. James writes a book to the early church telling them all about different ways to live more like Jesus. He has a lot to say on this topic. So in James chapter 3, he says this: "Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in humility that comes from wisdom." See, James gives us right here a tool that helps us to deal with our anger. He's talking about wisdom. And wisdom isn't just a weird word we use to describe owls and old people. A wise person takes what they've experienced and observed and learns from it. Because we need to use wisdom to understand what it is that got us angry in the first place. He goes on to say this in chapter 4. "What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you?" See, sometimes our anger stems from not getting what we want. According to James, the best way to move past this is to live a humble life. Humility says it's not all my fault, but I'm going to own my part of it. So we know we're going to get angry. It is going to happen. All right, so when you're feeling angry, when you feel it well up here and start moving through you, and definitely before the fire starts, I have a few questions I want you to think about. The first one is, why am I angry? This is such an important question because sometimes when we're angry, we don't even realize why it's happening. So take a moment to stop and think, why am I angry right now? The second is, how does this affect the people around me? Think about the person you're angry at and think about yourself too. At the end of the day, how is all of this anger going to impact you and them? And then the third one is, what are you going to do about it? See, these things are really hard to do. Remember, we talked about the space between frustrated to anger to rage is not that big. We can be in control of our anger. But I think when we lean into this moment, when it feels like we are about to explode, we can use it to be really helpful, or we can use it to be really harmful. At the end of the day, you and I get to be in control.